Hello, Virgo Risings, and welcome to your 2026 astrological overview as well as spiritual tarot insights. Let's first start off with Saturn and Neptune going into Aries. On January the 27th, Neptune will enter Aries, followed by Saturn going in February 15th. And with Saturn and Neptune diving into your 8th house, this is a time not to shy away from tough conversations or to shy away from facing your fears. It is a great year to get honest about what's working in your closest relationships and what needs to change, especially around money or trust. With the 8th house, healing comes from facing the truth and letting go of what's weighing you down. So some tips on how to navigate this energy is to address any financial obligations and shared assets honestly. With the 8th house, transparency is always going to be key. As I mentioned, don't shy away from any emotional vulnerability here, as that healing energy is also connected to the 8th house through facing truths and through processing those deeper emotions. And with 8th house, we want to let go of things that do not serve us. So practicing forgiveness and release. So I do have spiritual insights, and I have pulled for those who will watch this video. We have the 6 of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Cups reversed. So with the 6 of Pentacles reversed, this suggests that there may be situations where things felt uneven. So you might have been giving more than you have been receiving, whether that's emotionally, financially, or energetically, because we are tying this into the 8th house. So Saturn here asks for boundaries, while Neptune can sometimes blur them. So this transit is really about noticing where things aren't reciprocal anymore. The Page of Pentacles reverse points to some hesitation or uncertainty around starting something new in these shared areas. You might not be ready to invest, let's say, more time, trust, energy, or even money. And Spirit is saying that you don't need to force growth during this transit. It's important to slow down and reassess what you're truly willing to commit to. And with the King of Cups reversed here, this brings the emotional core of the transit. So this suggests an emotional overwhelm or possibly difficulty related to feelings, especially in close, vulnerable relationships. Neptune here can stir deep emotions, while Saturn can ask you to take responsibility for how you handle those emotions. The guidance here is to prioritize emotional honesty with yourself before trying to manage anyone else's emotions or feelings. So the overall advice for this transit is really rebalancing where you have been overgiving. Not to rush, because Aries sometimes tends to want to rush things. So don't rush into new emotional or new financial commitments, and really tend to your own emotional boundaries first. This is deep work, but it is helping you build healthier, more sustainable connections moving forward. We will also have eclipse season, which I'm not going to go too deep into in this video, as those will have their own separate videos once the eclipse season comes closer, but it will be in Aquarius and then also in Virgo. So that is your first house, Virgo, very important for you. And this is tied to wellness and self-redefinition with that first house. So the eclipses are going to nudge you to update your daily habits and maybe even how you see yourself. Because again, remember, we are dealing with that 6th house of Aquarius there and that first house of self. If your routine feels stale or your self-image needs a type of refresh, don't be afraid to mix things up. Focus on what helps you feel healthy, energized, that 6th house, and authentically more of yourself with the first house. I put here 2 tips. So you want to prioritize your well-being, adopt to routines that nourish your body and growth. And then the second tip is to embrace opportunities for personal growth or self-expression. Our spiritual insights for this eclipse season is the Tower, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. The Tower shows that something about how you've been operating is not sustainable anymore. So this could be an old self-image, a habit that you've had, or a routine that no longer supports your well-being. Eclipses tend to clear what's outdated, and that ties in very well with the Tower card. And this one is asking you to release patterns that keep you in stress or in over control, Virgo, y'all know. The King of Cups comes in right after that. This is an emotional grounding. So as changes happen in your routines or health, this card is reminding you to lead yourself with compassion. So instead of reacting emotionally or pushing through that burnout, Spirit is asking you to respond with emotional maturity. So checking in with how you actually feel and then adjust accordingly. And then we have the Knight of Cups, which invites a more softer approach forward. So this card suggests that redefining yourself does not have to be something that's harsh or rigid. You're being encouraged here to follow what feels nourishing and meaningful, especially in how you structure your days. So remember, we're dealing with first house and sixth house here. So small things, things that inspire changes, those can have a really big impact on your overall wellness. So pay close attention to those. So the overall guidance here for this eclipse season is to allow old habits to fall away, stay emotionally steady through the change in whatever way works for you, and move forward in a way that really honors both your identity of the first house and your health of the sixth. So this is a reset that supports a more aligned and more sustainable version of you. On April 27th, Uranus will move into the sign of Gemini. So here we'll have some career surprises and aspirations because this is your 10th house of career. Pay close attention, especially if you have the midheaven in the 10th house. With Uranus, you can find yourself on a completely new path. And this is a 7-year transit, so this is not something that for sure is going to happen this year, but be open and expect some changes, or maybe your ambitions change in a flash pretty quickly with Uranus. So stay open to new opportunities in career, even if they show up in ways that you didn't expect. Sometimes a little shakeup is just what you need. And for our spiritual insights for this transit, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Cups, and the Six of Swords reversed. Queen of Pentacles shows that at the core of these changes, you are being asked to stay grounded. And even if your career path shifts or evolves unexpectedly, this card is reminding you that you already know how to build stability. So lean into your skills, your experience, and what you know actually works for you. This suggests that something from earlier in your life may resurface. So that could be a talent that you once loved, a career idea that you set aside, or just a version of yourself that maybe felt more authentic. And Uranus and Gemini can reconnect you with old interest in a new way, especially through communication, through teaching, or sharing what you know. And then we have the Six of Swords reverse next to it, which shows there may be some hesitation around fully moving forward or taking action on that. You may feel torn between what's familiar, which you've already been doing, and what's calling you forward. So Spirit is just gently pointing out where you're holding yourself back. And this is not because you can't move forward, but because part of you is still trying to make the old path work, potentially. So the guidance for this transit is to stay grounded in your value, allow past passions to inform your future, and notice where you resist change out of comfort. Just keep in mind that whatever career shifts happen now or within the next 7 years aren't random. They're helping you align with a direction that feels more true to who you are. On June 30th, Jupiter will enter into the sign of Leo, and that is your 12th house. Jupiter in your 12th house is super supportive for rest, reflection, and spiritual pursuits. It is a great time to dive into meditation, to journaling, or anything that helps you recharge behind the scenes. You want to trust that good things can come from slowing down and listening to your inner guidance. A great way to work with this energy is to make time for meditation and for some type of spiritual practice. Whatever way that you can meditate, it doesn't always have to be sitting down and humming or counting beads. Art can be a form of meditation, and that's great tying into the 12th house or any spiritual practice that you would like to work with. You don't have to do this, but I know that Jupiter in the 12th is a very spiritual protection. So when I had that transit, I actually went to a retreat with psilocybin, and I did a lot of healing work through that spiritual practices there. And I knew that Jupiter being there was like a big cosmic protection for me. So Not to say that you have to do something like that or ayahuasca, but if you are so inclined, that is a great time to do it with Jupiter there in the 12th. During this transit, also trust your intuition. Answers may come through dreams or quiet reflection because 12th house is also tied to the dream realm. And our spiritual insights for this transit, we have Queen of Wands, the Two of Swords reversed, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. So the first thing here I see is about stepping into your own inner power. I love the Queen of Wands energy. The Queen of Wands shows that even behind the scenes, you do have a lot of energy, a lot of creativity and confidence to draw on. Jupiter here is expanding your inner strength. So trust your instincts and your intuition, especially during this time. You are capable of handling whatever comes up, even if it's not in the spotlight and it's more behind the scenes. With the Two of Swords reversed, this points to some type of clarity emerging. You may have been avoiding some decisions or some inner truths, but Jupiter in the 12th here is helping you see what you really need. Things that were stuck in the subconscious are starting to surface up, so you can make some choices with more awareness and more honesty. The Six of Pentacles also suggests balance and support here. So even in the hidden or spiritual areas of life, help and resources are available to you. So this could be emotional support or guidance, or unexpected opportunities that come from behind the scenes or come quietly. And Spirit is reminding you that generosity, giving, or receiving matters, especially in this phase. And with the Eight of Wands, this shows movement and momentum. So once you tune into those things that are emerging internally, things can really start moving quickly. So this is a time when those insights, or you might have some spiritual breakthroughs or behind the scenes shifts, can create real progress if you're open and ready to act, because the Eight of Wands energy is about a taking action. So the guidance for this transit is to trust your inner strength, to face the things that have been either hidden or avoided. Notice that there is support around you and be ready to move when the time is right. Jupiter in your 12th is just quietly expanding your spiritual and your subconscious world. I really love when Jupiter's in the 12th, and it is setting the stage for breakthroughs that you may not even see coming yet. Venus will also retrograde in Scorpio and into Libra. So this is communication, money, and self-worth, your Scorpio third house and second house of Libra. So this is your chance to revisit conversations of the third house, review your budget, your second house, and think about what really makes you feel secure, things that make you feel valued. And also keep in mind that old issues may come up around siblings or neighbors or your own sense of self-worth. But that just means that it's a perfect time for a little bit of healing in those topics, or just a fresh approach maybe. So hold off on any big agreements or any big with the second house purchases until Venus goes direct. Now for this retrograde energy, we have the Three of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Page of Pentacles reversed. So the first thing Spirit is asking you to look at is what you've been investing in, whether that's mentally, emotionally, or financially, because remember, we're dealing with third and second house here. So the Three of Wands suggests that opportunities are there, but you may need to take a pause and plan first. It is a good time to reflect on what's truly worth your energy and what will actually support your growth. Venus retrograde here wants you to rethink how you communicate your value and what you expect in return, whether that's in work or finances, or even conversations with others. With the Four of Cups here, it shows that there may be some dissatisfactions or feeling that this isn't enough type of energy. Spirit is really asking you to check in with your motivations. Are you chasing and following what truly fulfills you, or are you just going through the motions? It's a chance to recalibrate what really matters here with the retrograde energy. The Page of Pentacles reverse is a reminder not to rush or to overcommit. Some plans around money, learning, or self-worth might not be ready to move forward on just yet. So use this retrograde to revisit, reflect, and refine before taking any action. So the overall guidance for this transit is to pause and reevaluate where your energy and resources are going. Notice what feels good versus what doesn't, and be intentional about how you communicate your value. This is the perfect time to reassess and realign so that you step into a more stronger, more grounded sense of self-worth once Venus goes direct. So 2026 is a year of deep transformation. self-renewal for you Virgo risings. I really hope that you embrace emotional honesty, nurture your health, and be open for new career possibilities. Allow spiritual insight and wise self-care to guide you while you build stronger foundations for your finances and your self-worth. If you found this valuable, please comment down below, like and share, and please subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.